And action. Stuart, I don't know whether you want to say welcome to Instagram Live, because you are live now.
Okay.
And in a sec I will start the podcast. Is that alright?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Cool.
Right, welcome to the Rise Above podcast. My name is Stuart Potasnick, and well, I'm going to basically tell you the story.
Sweet as that. Welcome back to the Rise Above podcast, where we dive into real stories of struggle, strength and survival. I'm Shane.
I'm Adrian.
And you're
Stuart
Potasnick. Great stuff. Our guest today is Stuart. Someone who's lived through the chaos, let's say, of being undiagnosed ADHD. As a child, he's had addictions, drugs, crime, time behind bars. Tonight is going to be part one of his story, so we're going to be leading up the years. And if you're struggling, healing, or just searching for hope, this is the episode for you. Stuart, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, bro.
We got there in the end, didn't we?
Yes,
We got there in the end. It's been a bit chaotic for me this afternoon, so
Yes.
I apologise. It was a bit...
Yeah, no problem, that's good.
But yeah, it's a hot one. It's hot in here.
Yeah.
Some sweating going on.
Some sweating going on. I want to dive straight in, as one of the previous guests said, like Tom Daly. We're just going to dive straight into your life.
Okay.
I want to know when you was born, where you grew up. Obviously, you're a good friend of Adrian's of many,
Yes.
many years. Same year at school, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
But I don't know you.
No.
So I want to
And
get
the viewers.
to know.
Some
And
of
the
the
viewers
viewers.
don't know you, some of them. So
Yes.
I want to get to know you tonight on this part one, and lead up to part two and get everybody anticipating part two.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
So you was born in...
I was born in Hitchin in 1977.
Cool, in
on the
Hitchin.
30th of March. In Hitchin, sorry. And then my early years I grew up on the Grange estate in Letchworth.
See, I never knew that.
Yeah, and my mum was only young when she had me, so we moved in with my granddad, and after a year, or I think it was about 9 months, my mum actually got her council house or council flat just down the road, but me and my granddad were, like, he didn't even, I could say this, he didn't even want me to, like, my mum to have me because she was only so young.
Yeah, yeah.
16
I know
years.
that feeling, bro.
Yeah, so but as soon as I was born, of some reason, we just really connected, and there's some stories I've got to tell, like, about me and him as we go further on. But yeah, I moved into the house with my granddad, and when they left to move down the road, I didn't want to leave. So I'm not sure exactly how long, but it was for a good few months, maybe a year, I'm not sure, that I stayed with my granddad because we were connected, and I just didn't want to leave him. But obviously in the end, my mum said, enough's enough, you come and live with us. So she dragged me and said, you're coming to live with me and my dad. So, and then obviously my sister come along.
Yeah.
I do have two sisters, but she came off 20 years later, but we'll get to that later. Obviously.
Bit of a gap there, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was. Me and my sister both moved out quite around 16, 17, and sort of ventured on our own. So so they kind of, I don't know, they must have missed us being there, so they thought we'd try for another one. But how my sister was conceived is another story for a little bit later on. But I'll let that know.
Yeah.
That's an over 18 podcast.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a good story. But
Yeah, good.
It's a negative story and a positive story, but all into one. So
Yeah.
it's like one life for another life, as they say. And like when we get to that point, then I can explain.
Yeah, sweet.
more
Yeah,
on that.
of course.
So where did you go to school? Primary school? What primary school did you go
Primary
to?
school, I started at Stonehill because we was living on the Grange, so I went there till I was 6, and then when we were 6, we moved to Westbury estate in Letchworth as well.
And you went to that school there?
And I went to Westbury, yeah, which is no longer there anymore. It's houses and
Yeah, it's flats and all that, yeah.
Yes.
Did you have a good primary school? How was your primary school years?
Well, when I've always been kind of a little crazy person. I'm pretty little, yeah, but like my mum tells me all the stories about me, like I was a proper little boy. Like I'd be running into trolleys, running around with black eyes, and I remember there was, on the Grange estate, I don't know if you remember, there was like some pebbles that were like half in the thing, and I used to love a skateboard, and I for some reason thought that I could skateboard across that, and obviously I didn't. The skateboard stayed, and I flew off and smashed my chin. I got blood, ran in the supermarket, like blurring, crying, and my mum's like, "Oh my God, I hope that ain't Stuart." And yes, it was me. So,
yeah, but a typical boy though, isn't it?
Yeah, typical.
We're all stupid.
And then she told me another story. It's just not so long ago actually. When I was 2, she was obviously, the reins to hold you back, so we used to run off. And we're standing at a bus stop, and I've gone to run, and she didn't have hold of me, and I've gone to run, but luckily she managed to grab it, and I fell, and a bus went past and missed my head by about this much.
Lucky to be here then.
Yeah, I know. And then she's like picked me up and you still bugger.
Good idea, mate.
Yeah,
Good idea.
Like they need now, don't
Yeah. And that's another podcast.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah.
So academically, how did you do in primary school?
I didn't learn anything at school. I was not interested. If like sports, PE, I was into that, football and all that sort of stuff, and playing up like the fields. We used to all go climbing trees and all that sort of
Scrumping
thing. And PE and that, I'll say. But at school, I just like I said, with the ADHD thing, I just couldn't pick nothing up. So I just didn't learn. I wasn't interested. Paid no attention. And and obviously I was more interested in having fights at school, really.
You said it yourself. I mean, I'm not making any assumptions of yourself. No. You said it yourself when you walked in. You're a small guy.
Yeah.
Did this affect you as a child? Did it, in primary school, that's when bullying does start sometimes at primary school.
Yeah, it does. And being the little guy, people always... Big fellas, they don't want to fight someone their own size because there's a good chance they could lose. So they think, I'll pick on the little fella. It's the same as you get older and you go in pubs. The big guys, when I find a little guy and beat him up. And obviously, that's another story later. But obviously, I weren't one to take it off people, and I would always fight back. And I was always in trouble at school, and it was mostly with bigger kids. And so, I mean, there was one kid. I remember. Do you remember Mark Owen? Mike, is either Mark Owen or Michael Owen?
Yeah.
I mean, he was like a kung fu kid, and like he knew all this. And we were playing football, and I don't know what happened, but in the end, he's jumped up and he's done this kung fu kick on me, and I was only like 6 or 7, and I've gone back, but as I've come back, I've just hit him and knocked him over, and then sort of the teachers have come in and split it all up, and so I gained a little kind of respect from that. But
sometimes you have to do that to stand your ground and make yourself
and there
known.
wasn't. I've got another because my mum, when she was brought up in obviously before me obviously, and she was the eldest in the family, and her dad, how she brought up, she had to sort out the problem. So if there was a boy at school picking on one of the younger ones, then he'd take her around to have a fight with the lads, which you say, and she used to have a fight.
Yeah, like I say, when we used to stay over yours and that, I always remember being a proper strong lady. Yeah. So
if she said something, then you kind of listened.
Yeah.
So it's not one that you could just go, whatever. You knew when she was talking to you.
Yeah.
So I had it was tough, but it was good. It made me who I am and made me a strong character. And
what about secondary school, Stuart? How did it? You said you went to Highfield, yeah?
Yeah, I went to Highfield first, yes. And I was there for the first, second and third year. And even there, the second year, me and another person I was in my tutor with, me and him used to bunk off every day, I think. And in the end, we was just going in the fields, and I think that's when I started with the weed and the hash, and so we was just going out the field smoking and stuff, and missing school. And then in the end, we got found out, and I got asked to leave Highfield School or I'd be kicked out. So that
was in your third year.
That was in my third year, and then I went to Norton School. So, but yeah.
What school did you go to again?
I went to, because obviously then once I left the Westbury, I moved to the Japman, so I had to go to Norton, and then William, and then I went to Fernhill when William closed.
Okay.
But you're just going past that. You said about you touched with us as well. We do need to touch on that a little bit. Obviously, when you was a little bit younger, you sort of found a few little bits out before you went to secondary school. What was
well, when I got to, obviously I had a good childhood and everything like that, and it was a tough childhood, but it was like I come from a family that we didn't have a lot, and
I feel that
we appreciated things. So I've always appreciated things that I've had and the little things. But then when I did get to 7, I did find out some it was very disturbing for myself that I didn't actually realise for a long time after that how it affected me. So it was some news that I found out, which obviously was about like my. So that?
Yeah.
So it was like about my father. So
your biological one.
Yeah, well, yes, it's my biological father, because I didn't know that at that time that he was, or that my father that had raised me wasn't my biological father.
Yeah, cool.
He was, but the other person, he had, when my mum was pregnant, had cleared off and had nothing to do, so I didn't know. All I knew was my dad, and like he is my dad, and still to this day is my dad.
Brilliant, and that's brilliant.
And what he's done with me is amazing, and you know what I mean. I appreciate everything he's done, and I couldn't love him anymore. And what he's done and helped me has been good.
I got exactly the same as we spoke about before. Obviously, I found out probably, I don't know if it was at 7. I can't even remember the actual day. I know it was quite devastating for me as well. I found out that obviously my dad weren't my dad, you know, and it's a difficult time. But like you say, it's. I just wanted that moment for you to say thank you as well as
So,
you know,
I'm
because
I'm thankful for my dad for everything he's taught me, and what
same as that.
He's always been there, and he's basically been my rock.
One thing sorry Stuart, but one thing I would say is that you could sleep with a girl, get her pregnant, and then bugger off like your biological one. But for that man then to walk into your mum's life and your life, and then bring you up as his own, takes a special kind of person. I'm a stepdad, and I look at them as same as my biological kids. And when a man does that, in my opinion, is a better father figure than anybody could ever ask for.
I agree.
So I'm going to say it. Kudos to you, my friend.
So I just wanted to bring that life moment in as well, because obviously we just need to factor a few bits in as we go along. So obviously then Highfield, it all went a little bit.
Yeah, because I remember at school when we even had a little scrap, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, bro. But
who won?
You and Simon and Rob Marshall.
Got pulled
he bit me thumb.
Well, so you got to try and win anyway.
Yeah. But obviously me, you, Simon and Rob, we were quite mischievous, should we say, around the Westbury, do you know what I mean? And I don't remember as having a hard, traumatic childhood, if you see what I mean. There were just moments where we could have probably done things a little bit better.
That's right, but like I say, as I went through my life, and obviously when I found out what I found out when I was 7, I didn't actually realise the effect it would have for my whole life. Because I was only young, and I've got no problems with it now, because now I understand it, but I was 7. And I didn't understand it. And I carried it through my life.
Which, again, we're going to come back to a bit later, but we just wanted to get that moment in, because we will be coming back to that as we progress through episode 1 and 2, effectively. So obviously you're at Norton now, which I found, when I went to Fernhill, I found really difficult, because I was a Jackman's lad, and I had to go to Fernhill,
other side of town,
and they had the Stotfold influx as well, which really made it difficult for me. How did you find being a Westbury lad, then going to a Grange school?
Because there was beef back in the day, wasn't there, with the different areas of lecture?
Kind of, but I say, I can get on with anyone, but like I say, there's a switch in me where I can just switch like that. So, but I can get on with everybody. And like when I go into the Grange, I had no problems with anybody. And like the school life there, the last 2 years I had there, like the 4th and 5th year, was really, really good. I still didn't learn anything, but life was.
Did you attend school when you were there?
When I was 4th and 5th year, I attended all the time. I remember one time I was playing in this. I think it's the science lab just outside our tutor thing. And there was some metal stairs, obviously, that go up and then up to the 2nd floor. And we were running around there, and I smashed my top of my head on this metal thing. And I'm standing there, and all blood started pouring out. Anyway, they took me to hospital, and then I stitched it up. I put the glue in my head, and then I said, I want to go back to school. So they took me back to school, and it was like, well, you don't want to go home? I said, no. It was like, I'd still got a couple of hours left to school. And so so I liked school, but I just didn't learn anything.
You like the environment.
Like being with the boys and that.
Yeah, so when I did leave school, and the thing was, my uncle was a paint and decorator at the time, and he used to take me like in the 6 weeks holiday or in the week's holidays. Now I used to go and help him do painting. So I'd set my heart and thought, I'm going to be a painter now for the rest of my life. So you don't know as a kid, do you? You don't know what's going on. But I just thought I had a painting, so I didn't care about school.
Most kids want to be a rocket man or astronaut or something, but you wanted to be a painter.
But I wanted to be a painter, So and I was a painter for I think about 3 years, and then that was until I had my first son. And because I was travelling around a lot, kind of had to give up the painting and take a local job, so I'd be there, be more around my son and my girlfriend at that time.
Okay.
So
one of the things that I did at 12 to 15, 16 was smoke pot.
Yeah.
You in your notes said that you smoked weed at what age was you?
It was around 11 or 12 that I first started like smoking. I think it was hash that we first used to start.
Yeah, solid.
Squidgy Black.
Yeah.
Squidgy Black. That's it,
A bit squidgy.
And we was like smoking bongs and went up the field. There's like a good gang of us. And yeah, so it was a good vibe up there. We used to bong it and then play football all the time, and then we'd go and have a break, do some more bongs and smoke, and yeah, so it was yeah. And then at that time, remember all the fields, we used to try and dive off the garages into
the hay,
fields, hay. I remember one time I jumped off there, and one bit, I don't know how, it went straight up my nose, and I come off, and it's still there. I pulled it out, and then blood just started pouring right out.
I remember going on a bike rides with my daughter Eve, and I showed her that when we went past, and she just couldn't get it in her head. What do you mean you jumped off it?
Yeah.
That's crazy, Dad. I'm like, well, that's what we did back then. You know, she just couldn't get it.
Like the kids now, they're stuck in front of their computers, like not learning. Well, they're learning stuff because obviously they are smarter than what we were.
Yeah.
But
are they learning the right things?
No, that's right.
You know, at the right ages. Yeah. You know, my 7-year-old could probably tell you stuff that I didn't know at 7 or 16.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because of the internet, YouTube.
I'd find it's the social skills. That's where I think that they start to struggle. Yes, they know. Like my daughter could tell me about stuff, and I've got no clue. Yeah. But then when she's out, you can see that she struggles from a social point of view. Yeah. How to make friends, how to talk to her friends. Even just to yesterday, we went for sorry to go off, I just wanted to try and prove a point here. But even yesterday, we went to Highfield School, and there was a girl that she plays football with, and she walked past her, and she didn't quite know how to talk to her. No. She just sort of, and the girl was ready to sort of stop and talk, but Eve sort of just went, hello, really awkwardly, and carried on walking. I was like, why don't you stop and talk? She went, I don't know. And it's like,
anxiety.
Man, you play football with her.
I know, it's crazy.
You know, and they just don't know how to interact, even as friends.
No, that's right.
But she probably went home that night and texted her.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. She did, and she apologised because she was like, "Look, I was a bit awkward, I was a bit nervous, and stuff like that," which she was. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. That whole social side is where I think a lot of struggles are going to come even further down the line. Yeah.
What sort of things did you do as a teenager outside of school? Because we've talked about the school. Yeah. But outside of school is where you could get into a lot more trouble, and you could be up to no good. So
I remember when I was around 12 or 13, and I got caught shoplifting. Like a week before, I went. It was Woolworths back in the day in Hitchin.
Oh,
mate. I think I was with my uncle and I think it's my uncle and my auntie, and I was walking around and I saw a little game thing, and obviously, like I said, we didn't have a lot when we was kids, but and I was like, I really wanted it. But then a week later, I was with one of my other cousins. I was like, do you want to come with me down to Hitchin? Like, so I just want to do something. He's like, yeah, okay. So I ended up taking my cousin down there. He's on his bike, I was on my skateboard. We was going all the way down to Hitchin, got into Woolworths, and then I found this game and I was like, oh, I really want. So basically I nicked it, put it in my jacket, and we actually left the building. We got out the building, we was out the building, everything's cool. And for some weird reason we said, no, I want to get some sweets. So we've gone back in the building, got some sweets and got out the front door, and then there's a security guard, and they grabbed us and took us, and then I got done for that. But that was...
What happened to you over that?
So when I
was the police?
They called the police and took us to police station. And then my dad's come down, he's like, what did you say? And I was like, well, just basically told him what I did. And he goes, well, just say no comment from now on, that's it, no comment ever. So obviously after that, if I got arrested, that was no comment always. But I ended up getting...
Good life lesson.
Got a good telling off from my mother, and she grounded me for 6 months.
That's harsh, isn't it? 6 months.
I used to be able to go to school and go home. And
did you have to do the whole 6 months?
Yeah, I did. There was one night, I think Robert Marshall had a birthday party, and she let me out and go to the party for this one night for his birthday. But that was it. I had to go home. But do you know what? Because I'm into drawing. I had all these little army things, and I used to do battles in my room. My mum would shout, "Who are you talking to up there?" I said, "No." I said, "I'm on my own, mum." So I've got a wild imagination. And I could sit there and, basically make fun and do whatever I've got to do in just my little room that I had. And back then we had a Commodore 64. Remember we used to play video games. Yeah,
I'm telling you.
For 2, 3. 6 months playing computer games, and because I remember going to school, I pressed play to load it, and by the time I get home, it'd be loaded.
So you was always having to be busy with the mind as well. Do you know what I mean?
I knew. I used to, like I say, love drawing, and I could draw animals and pictures like this, but I could never draw faces. They always look, well, very weird. So it was only later on in life that I actually, when I ended up doing an art class in a certain place, and I learned to draw faces, and now I can actually draw faces and do portraits, and I've got another story to tell as we get to that.
Maybe you could draw me an aid.
Yeah, maybe if you give me a picture of you two, I could do that.
In our Rise Above t-shirts.
And then we'll see. Yeah, okay.
Might even be able to get it up somewhere.
Yeah, we'll remove the TV because it doesn't work anyway.
That would be good, because I haven't been doing it recently, and it's something I enjoy, and
it's therapeutic as well, isn't it?
Therapeutic, yeah.
Art.
And if I feel at peace when I'm drawing, I love it. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Got a few tattoos. That's also art, isn't it?
Tattoos as well. I like the tattoos.
Do they all mean something, or?
Yes. They do. I put this was a speech. I don't know if you've ever seen a film called Coach Carter.
Yeah.
Coach Carter, mate.
Good film.
You know when Samuel Jackson keeps saying to the guy with the afro, he's saying, "What's your deepest fear, young man?" And they keep going, "What the hell's he on about?" And then at the end, he stands up and he gives a speech. Yeah. And the first time I heard it, I was just like, "Wow." Yeah. It felt like something to me, and I carried this on my arm for many years. It was only a couple of years.
That's not bad writing either, as well, from a tattoo point of view, because it's quite small. So
I was have it on my back originally, but then it was too big and it would look silly. So in the end, we managed to get it in here. I squeeze it on here, and I've changed when I actually turn the speaking around. It's like, instead of saying our deepest fear, it's your deepest fear. So I kind of, when I read it and understood it, it was kind of a message to myself that I didn't even know that I was carrying on myself. So it was,
is that a goat up there?
And that's it's a ram. A ram. I was born in March, so Aries.
Oh, okay.
So that's I don't know if you can all see that, but it's a ram there. Yeah. So that's a ram, and then over here, because I didn't get this till later on in life, but I was always playing up. So I was basically there's a message to God, like the cross there, and it just says, "Father, forgive me." So because I knew I was always playing up, but.
Which puts if you want to, if you want to know what Stuart's going on about, you're going to have to watch part 2.
Yeah.
So I'm giving teasers, and
that's how we want it, though. That's how we want it.
I've seen you with your top off as well, because everybody has, because it's your photo on the graphics. You've got tattoos absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, I've got some. I've got my chest covered.
That's a whole hour's podcast just talking about it.
Like this one is like to my family. It's like it says inspirational family, because like my family. Well, there was something that happened like when I was like 21, and
which we'll be getting to.
We've always been a close family. Like we've obviously all have our arguments. I'm not one of them families that don't talk to each other forever. If something's happened, we all say what we've got to say, because we're quite a fiery bunch, shall we say? But we say what we've got to say, and then we move on, and we all.
It's good that you're marking yourself for the rest of your life and giving a bit of a nod to your family.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
It's good that some of your tattoos mean something, because most of mine don't.
No,
what about yours, Aid? Do they?
Yeah, obviously this is my mum, bless her, God rest her soul. Obviously, my podcast will come at a later time, do you know what I mean? But yeah, she helped me without really sort of knowing what... I don't want to sort of go too much.
Is that the kids' names?
Yeah, and then I've got all the kids on some beads, and then I've got the kids. That's Cassidy when she was born, Eve, James, Lauren. They're the start. Yeah, the same sort of thing. You know, Jesus.
Obviously, I know what this one means.
Yeah, Forever 21.
That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah. So.
Forever 21's a meaning, though.
Yeah.
You know, it's Aidan Godfrey. He died at 21. It's Adrian's nephew.
That's Marianne's nephew. So we got a little football game this weekend for that charity match over at the Eagles. So pop up there if ever you're a bit light. We've got some bouncy castles and all sorts going on.
I've got a tattoo here. You remember I was saying about my granddad? It's there. He died in 2005. So I had a tattoo there, and it's just like, well, I'll show you. It's just a pair of eyes with a teardrop, and then I used to call him Gramps instead of Granddad, so I was like, we all used to call him that in the end. I don't know who made it up or how it got to that, but we all called him Gramps, and so that's just like my memory towards him as well, because he was a big part of my life when I was young.
My granddad's my role model.
Yeah.
Not
yeah,
my dad.
exactly.
My dad's passed away, but even if he was still alive, he still wouldn't be. But my granddad was everybody I wanted to be as a man.
Yeah.
Every single part of him,
Yeah.
his work ethic, the way he treated my nan. He worshipped the ground that she walked on. They never argued.
Yeah.
I wanted to be him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Granddad was well loved, well liked.
Yeah.
Never said a bad word. Never swore.
Yeah.
Never smoked.
No.
He liked a beer.
Yeah.
But they all did back then.
But that's another.
But yeah.
Like my tattoos, a lot of them are cover-ups like that. It's meant to be roses, but it looks like cabbages. but it was a.
They've got lots of cabbage now again.
But no, because my dad, he had tattoos because back when he was obviously young and growing up, they used to have bulldogs and
Love and hate
English
on the knuckles.
flag,
and
the
all
English
that.
flag,
So
and all
when I
that.
got to 18, the first big tattoo I got was a panther down here, and then I got a bulldog there, but that's covered up now with a dragon. So that's an ex-girlfriend.
Do you know what you just said there? Look. I've got living proof, mate.
Yeah.
Living proof.
What's that?
It's a pit bull with 2 guns. And that's obviously the British Bulldog.
Yeah.
Is that? You've got yellow eyes.
Yeah.
He's stoned.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway. So, your late teenage years, left school.
Yeah. Well, like you said, when I was at school, another thing I liked was football. And we played together with, well, I think Letchworth Eagles from when we were 6'2", probably.
You said you was way better than Adrian, though. Just a minute
He
ago.
was, mate. He was,
At
mate.
that time, but obviously as I got older, I was better.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Ask him how many goals he
Do you
scored.
remember when I loved you when you was in goal, playing with kids at
I was
top?
That's not hard, is it? Look at the size of the geezer. Carter's taller.
Beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah, but yeah, I was into my football. But then when I got to, I believe I was about 12, I got called to go for trials, because back then they used to do trials for I think
The county team.
The county team.
Yeah,
So I got called to the county trials. I've turned up there and I had an amazing tournament, and the head coach or whatever, he come up to me after and he goes, "You're by far the best player we've got here, but you're too small."
Yeah.
And as soon as he said that, I was like, well, what is the point of me carrying on? So for 2 years, I think it was, I didn't play football. And then I can't remember who it was approached me, but I went back to Letchworth Garden City Eagles, and I played for Letchworth Garden City Eagles. I only played a few games. We was getting stuff 16-1, 10-1, 12-1. But we played against the team Purwell, and they were top of the league. And the manager, and I actually bumped into him in the doctors about 6 months ago. And I still speak to him to this day, and it's great because he said to me, "Look, do you want to come and play for us?" And that was when I left Letchworth Garden City Eagles. I went to Purwell, and then we actually started playing for Olsey. And that was when I really loved football. I was scoring loads of goals, and he actually really turned my football career around at that age. So and obviously after the setback I had of that scout saying you're too small, but he believed in me and put me on as a winger, and we had fast wingers, and that was when I really started to come alive. But then I got to 17, 18, I was in North Hart Celtic actually, and I joined them halfway through the season.
North Hart Celtic. Courtney, was it Carl Courtney or someone like that?
I can't remember the name. Chris, what is it? Wild. I think it was Chris. I can't remember. I think the last name was Wilding.
Oh, okay.
And I can't remember what the dad's name was. But I ended up playing. I joined them about, I think it was November, and then I literally scored every single game for them up to I was 18. But because I was 18 and they were all 16, 17, because it went from under 16 to under 18s. So I only had one season with them, but I ended up getting player of the season, the top scorer, and even at the end of that season I got called to another trial over in Royston, and I turned up and everybody was there and they'd already changed, there was no kit there, so they said, "Oh, well, there's no kit, so you can't play." So I ended up not playing then. So then I gave up football again. And then my uncle, Mick, who was a big inspiration in my life as well, because like I said, when my mum was at home and she had me at my granddad's, he was only 10 years old at that time, so he used to take me and I was playing football with him, and they used to kick shit at me.
He wasn't a bad player himself, to be fair.
And my uncle, both my uncle, all my families are really good, but all of us had knee problems.
Yeah.
So, and that's how I got into boxing in the later life, because I couldn't run anymore because of my football, but I've got lost then.
So apart from football, mate, what else did you get up to as a teenager? We all went
Stealing motorbikes.
Yeah, bit of joyriding.
Across the farmers' fields.
Yeah, across the farmers. I remember one time my sister, she was walking down Hillbrow towards the Hillbrow wreck, and I've come flying down this motorbike on the B-Wiz. It was. I was going about 50 mile an hour. I was probably only like 14 years old. I've gone flying past and I see her, and so I've done a massive skid, gone back. Don't you go and tell mum and dad. And 20 minutes later, my mum's turned up. You little git. She'd obviously dragged me home and told me to get to my room again. Back to the prison.
You like your room, yeah?
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, we had a computer and everything.
I was adventurous
Home
in
from
my
home.
room. So outside my room, I was a little bugger, but inside my room, I was adventurous and kind of. I learned to enjoy myself.
So was you? I myself have done it. You know, had a group of friends. Somebody suggested something, and I've gone, yeah, go on, man. I was never the ringleader. I was never the one saying that I'm going to go and do it. You come in with.
Yeah.
Was you the ringleader, or was you just a follower?
Basically, when I was younger, I was more of, well, I wouldn't say I followed, it's just everyone,
I think we all bounced off each other, didn't we, really? There was like a group of us.
Did you steal motorbikes as well, Aid?
Well, we all had a little play here and there. I remember I got caught, like I said, I don't want to, it's not bad, but yeah, we all had our little moments, you know. There was a group of us, wasn't there, that sort of, I mean, obviously as it got a bit older, we sort of started going our own way and that.
It was Ferraris then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember when I got caught on that B-Wiz, because then the police turned up. The police didn't turn up for that motorbike, but then what happened was we had another one. It was a Vision, Honda Vision, I think it was called, or something like. And I was riding it down the back of the Grange, up the Grange, the back of them around them fields there.
Yeah.
And the police have like come down flying in their car, but then we've managed to go over some humps, but we've stacked it, so we ended up running, and I managed to find a dustbin and got in a dustbin, and I hid for about 2 hours in this dustbin, and obviously they never found me. Anyway, a week later, there's a knock on the door. And my mum's like, there's a door, show up, you, whatever. So I've come to the door and she's like, tell this copper that the police have already been round about this motorbike. And I was like, I think they're on about a different motorbike, mother. So she's like, you what? And obviously, so that was a... Back
quite a few years ago, motorbikes and cars, Ford Fiestas in particular, were really easy to twat.
Yeah.
And I always remember, my older brother saying about... bending the Fiesta door back and then putting it back like it's never been bent.
Yeah,
get your arm in there and pull the thing up.
Yeah, but the cars never had alarms today. We just bring it straight away.
Yeah. These days, all you got to do is brush past the car and the car's going. Ring. Did you ever fall off the motorbikes, or did you?
I fell off all the time because I'm quite clumsy. Like I say, even when I had the skateboard accident, there's another time with the same chin up. You remember back in the day, we used to have big slides, the thin ones. And for some reason, I thought I could go down on my kryptonite skateboard, down this thing. I've shot down there, kryptonic wheels, remember those? Used to go fast. I went 100 mile an hour, then I flew off it and smashed my chin on the...
I remember going from the market deck, the old market deck rubber wheels, them things, and I put kryptonics on once. Jesus Christ.
Is it faster ball bearings or something?
Oh, mate. They were legendary kryptonics, man.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. But then,
do you think, when you say clumsy, bruv, do you think that a lot of that is because you were 100 mile an hour as a kid?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I believe that,
so it's not so much you were clumsy, it's just you literally, mind, body...
Every day now, even still now...
Even now, your mind's going 150 mile an hour.
Yeah, exactly, and I will trip over 100 times because I drag my feet when I walk. Yeah. Like my shoes will fall apart. Look, see, that bit's fell off, I just drag them along. So I'm really clumsy. It's like in England, there's a lot of curbs that ain't right, are they? And especially when I'm running, I'll kick the curb, fall over. But I've learned now, as I start falling, I roll so I can carry on with runs. It looks like I'm actually...
meant to do it.
Yeah, I'm doing it on purpose, but I'm not.
Something I wanted to ask you about, which I remember is from you. Do you find that you was... Because I always remember you used to bite your nails like crazy.
I do as well.
Do you find that bad when you was a kid? Was that a nervous thing? Was that just a habit? What?
I don't know. When I was born, like I say, I was around my granddad. He used to bite his nail, and I copied him, I think, and then it kind of just stuck. And then people always say, "Is it a nervous thing?" Well, I don't. I found that when I chew, I can think, and it slows me down. So the reason I chew now, I believe, is because when I chew, I slow down my brain. I think
it's occupying another side of your brain.
So the way people think, oh, he's nervous. I'm not nervous at all.
You're quite a confident guy. I think you're the opposite of nervous. You're quite a confident,
but I've not always been like this. It's only now because I've found, or I've realised who I am and what I can achieve now. I'm not stupid, and I'm not. I don't know.
Was you confident as a teenager?
No, never, because I was always short, and like I say, when I left school, I was 16. I left school when I was 5 foot and I was 8 stone, and then that was when I started taking steroids. When I was 16, because I was like, what do I do? So
you've jumped a bit there. So to the point of right. So you've left school. And then how does that process come about? Was you going to the gym? Did you look at yourself and think, I need to get bigger? Was that a football thing because people kept telling you you're too small?
Yeah, that was what it was. It's because I was so small. I thought, what am I going to do? Because how am I going to get bigger? So I thought, well, I knew some people obviously at that age even that were taking sort of that stuff, and they were looking good. So I was like, well, I might as well try it. And then I ended up going within like 6 months from 5 foot and 8 stone to like 10 and a half stone.
Still 5 foot.
And I was 5'6", so I think I still would have.
How did you get 5'6"?
I don't know.
But you feel like that when you're.
I don't know if it's something to do with that, or I would have grown the 6 inches.
Yeah.
So maybe I was just waiting to leave school to grow that bit, but it just felt like
maybe you had a growth
spurt. It up and grew. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or felt 6 inch tall.
Yeah, and I did stick on that for 8, but I did take still on and off for a long period of time.
How did you feel how did you feel? Obviously at the time on them is what everyone knows, it makes you feel and strength. But what was the come down like? How did it affect you? Because there is some massive side effects.
There's roid rage, isn't there?
Yeah. As it got into when I got into my 20s and I really started hitting, I ballooned up to like 14 stone, and I didn't even have a head. Like my neck was like wider than the head, so it was just like. Yeah, it was like I didn't have a head, it was just a neck, and then 2 eyes and like my mouth and nose.
Was you addicted to them?
Yeah, I was addicted to them.
Because you said you started at 16, and then you just mentioned in your 20s.
But when I done it at 16, when I got up to like, I put on the weight and everything, it probably wasn't in 6 months, it might have been 2 years, but I just said 6 months because, I don't know why I said 6 months, but I don't know how long it was. So, but I went up to 5'6", 10 and a half stone, and I stayed around that, and I felt nice, I felt comfortable. And then, like I said, got earlier when I gave up football when I was 16 again because of someone or 18 or 17, 18, and they turned against me again saying, because
you
didn't have a kid. Yeah. So I was the best player there, and I know I was the best player there. But the manager was. He run one of the other teams and he picked all these players from that team, and he picked.
That's the problem with districts, wasn't it? Yes. Because it was always the district guy. I remember I went to one, and it literally I walked in there and I was the only one not from his side.
That's right, yeah.
And I didn't get in.
No, that's it, yeah. So
it's very cliquey back in the day.
You got to be in a clique.
Yeah.
And then I learned that later on in life. You got to have a certain clique about you and be in the right clique, or you just ain't going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's what happened quite a few times through my life, and that's why I always kind of. It was good that I spent a lot of time on my room when I was young, because later in life I learned I can be on my own. But then with some of the issues that arose, like when I got into my 20s and stuff, I couldn't handle being on my own because some certain things that had happened, and then that was when I started turning into heavier drugs, and then the steroids and making myself feel stronger, and I was going to the gym a lot and causing a lot of problems on the streets, and starting getting involved with a lot of criminal stuff, which I can talk to you about obviously later. Yeah.
So obviously, like Shane was saying, that's a big 4-year period from 16 to 20. Yeah. So what are you doing there? Obviously, you're doing.
When I was 18, I met my first son's mother. Let me go back to like when I started playing football with my uncle, and then
you said about Mick.
Because he played for Bridger Packaging. I don't know if you remember them.
Yeah, Lawrence. I used to work for. I worked at Carrera Karting and that as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I got a lot of time for Lawrence.
Yeah. So my uncle played for them, and because I wasn't playing anything, my uncle always had belief in me, and he always said, "Look, why don't you just come along, go on the subs bench?" So I've turned up for this one game, and after 10 minutes, one of the players got injured, so I've had to go on. I'm like 5'6", still. I'm not a grown man, and he's a big man.
Yeah.
And I've gone on, and I had
the old South Midlands. That was.
Yeah, that was South Midlands, and that was quite a good league at that time. So I've gone in, and they was like, "You need to come back every week." So I started playing every week, and then I think they put me in reserves so I could play every game because I was starting off as a sub with them. Obviously.
Yeah.
And they put me on when they could, but I went to the reserves, played a few with them, and then the following season they put me into the first team again. And we actually went on to win the league that season. I scored 50 goals, and I had a few scouts watching me at the time, and there was a good chance that maybe I could have gone on to be a professional, but like, I had a freak accident where I scored my 50th goal against Dunstable Town. We was winning 2-1, and they were top of the league at that time, but we had a couple of games on hand, so we needed to win, and we just went 2-1 up, and I was standing there, and I just stood there, because it was raining, mud on my boots, and I just flicked my leg to flick the mud off my boots, and my cartilage ripped in half, and I collapsed, and I was like, what the hell, and then it popped back in. So I thought, oh, the hell was that? So anyway, I got up, I ran over to, like, someone took a throw in, I still remember it to this day. He threw the ball to me, and I've gone out to control it, and my leg just gave way, and I collapsed again, and then I went off, and it was locked, and that's when I kind of started getting the properties. I had an operation, but it was not like for like 3 months. And then when I did come back, then I started getting the other knee, then I tore my groin, my hamstrings.
Do you think, I'm not just throwing this out there, but obviously you were in the middle of taking steroids at the time with this, was it? Do you think that affected you with your fitness? Do you think that you were pushing your body so much that it started giving way?
No, when I got to like, because it was only for a couple of years I took them at first, and then when I got to a size and I was happy, then I stopped taking them. And I wasn't going like, I stopped using the gym, and I started more back on the football. So I stopped with the gym. And
so it sort of stopped, then you got back to the football, and then it
kind of gave me the push I needed to make me feel stronger, because I couldn't have gone and played men's football at 8 stone and 5.
No, appreciate that.
I know I probably didn't grow 6 inches through the steroids, but I can believe that. But but then I grow a bit of confidence, like I say. Then when Bridget took me on, and I did all that, and it gave me a boost with all my confidence, and I felt better about myself. But in the same season that 2 years before I had that good season, I met my son's first mother
your first son's mum.
Yeah, that's it.
We know what you mean.
You know what I mean.
What was her name?
Leanne.
Yeah,
and my son's name's Cade.
Yeah.
So
how old's Cade now?
He's going to be 29 this month.
29.
Yeah, so it's good.
Young,
yeah. Very young still.
I remember you living at the White House. Is it the White House they call it now? Opposite the dump.
Yeah.
Well, the old dump on Icknield Way.
Yeah.
I remember you living there.
Yeah, I did.
With her.
Yeah, because like I said, that was when I was doing the painting and decorating before I met her. Then I met her, and then we had our son, and she was only like just nearly 17, and I was just turned 19 at that time. And then she moved to Letchworth because she was from Royston. So
where'd you meet?
We met at the Coconut Club in
Hatfield,
yeah.
I remember.
The Coconut Club, yeah. So we met there, and then the following week we went to the Letchworth one, and we met there, and then we kind of just it was first love. Like that was my it was good.
Did
you mean to have the baby, or was he a blessing by accident?
We did, between me and her, we did plan to have, because then we thought that because she lived in Royston, I was in Letchworth, and we wasn't together, and we were really in love with each other like when we met, and we wanted to be together, so
let's have kids, get married,
let's have a kid, get a house, and then we can be together. So we believed in all that situation, and that's what we did. I know we was young and probably naive and stupid.
She said you moved in with her. How was that? Like moving out of mum's. How was moving out of mum's?
Well, when I was 16, I actually left my mum's house, and I went to live with my granddad.
Yeah.
I went back to live with him for a year, but then
was that a choice of because you wanted to go, or was that because you were struggling a little bit with family life then, or?
Well, when during my school years, that's how I ended up going to Norton, because my granddad lived on the Grange, so that was another reason why I went to the Grange. Because sorry, I lost myself.
So that's why, obviously, we're just talking about probably the influence he had on you, the fact that you kept always having to go back.
So what I used to do on a Friday after school, I used to get on my bike and I used to ride to my granddad's to the Grange, and I'd spend the whole weekend with him, and on the Sunday I had to go back to my mum and dad's. I want to live with granddad, and mum's like, you're not leaving the house, but obviously as soon as I got to 16, I can do what I want now. So I went to live with my granddad, but then I lived there for a year, but my granddad's house, he was old school, like he didn't have no central heating, like you had the heat up. So I remember one time
bread and dripping.
So cold, I fell asleep in front of the heater, and I woke up in the morning and I had a bubble like this on my hand where the heater would blow my hand up, and I was like, what the hell's going on here? Like, so it was that cold, and in the end mum said, look, you're not living anymore, and she said, look, you're coming back and live with us. So she took me back home then, and I went back home, and then obviously that's when I started, that's when I met my son's mother, and then once she was pregnant, we started putting the paperwork to get into a hostel. and we got given the hostel, the White House, which is on Icknield Way.
Yeah.
And we moved in there, and we was there for like about 6-7 months, and that's when I gave up the painting, because she'd moved from Royston and she didn't know nobody down here. And I got a job at AFI, you know, the old furniture company.
Yeah, mate. Brett Hammond and that used to work there. Yeah, Chris Page, I think, for a bit, didn't he?
Yeah. So I was there, and literally that's just down the road from. So it was perfect. So, but then after I think it was about 6 months, she kind of not become sad, but because she's having to go to Royston, and she during the day I was at work, so she had no friends here. So she said, look, can we move back to Royston? Like, she would like to move to Royston. And I was like, cool, let's just move there. So I managed to managed to get a job in Royston at Chairplan, which was basically the same.
They all went there, didn't they? Yeah, I remember.
Went from there to there, so I ended up being them. But I actually I got sacked from that job, which was kind of what happened. Was the downfall of how my relationship with my son's mother kind of crumbled, because what happened was, I'll tell you the story of why I got fired. What happens, we used to have staple guns, you know, to do spreadsheets. Anyway, when I used to go into the foam room where they used to do the foaming, like they all got staple guns, we used to all shoot each other with the gun, like pretend it's a machine gun, like. So I remember one time I was there working and I saw someone there and I thought it was them, so I started spraying them all with this machine, and it weren't, was it? It was all the bosses, and they were showing customers around the building, or future customers to buy the chairs. So obviously I've got sacked straight away, and then I decided to go into, I was going to sign up for a computer course because I wanted to get into computers, because I like computers. I'd always been interested in computers, and that's what another like side dream that I had when I was young, that I would like to be involved with something to do with computers. But I'd kind of squashed and forgot about that, and I thought, right, well, now's my chance. But this was like in December, just before Christmas this had happened, and I lost my job, and obviously I signed up to this course, and it weren't till the following September when I could actually go. So there was like
bit of a gap.
Yeah, like 8-month gap. So I did manage to find a job which was on a turkey farm, which was in Meldrew. And I've turned up there like a week before Christmas. 1,500 turkeys are turned up in a van, and obviously they're disposed of and put on in a fridge and everything. And like my first job there was, as it came around, like the first. Can I explain what goes on in there, or is that
I think so.
Or what? I don't know.
That's fine.
Is that
I think so.
We're not on TikTok.
No. Yeah, I think you'll be alright.
Well, basically, what this truck turns up with 1,500 or 12 to 1,500 turkeys on, or chickens or whatever they were, and then they grab them by the feet, hang them on this rail thing that goes round, and they're electrocuted, cut open, and all that. Their hearts, guts, everything's all pulled out, ripped up, and by the time they get to the thing is how you see it.
When you buy it in the shop,
of course. So they stick a hook on in its arse basically, and then hang it on a hook, and then once the whole thing's full up, I don't know how many it was, and they're like 18, push it into a thing, and by the end the whole 1,500 are in this thing. My first job was actually cutting the stomachs open and emptying them, and it surprised me that they're full of stones. They eat stones. Because they're obviously eating the grass, picking up stones at the same time, so their bellies are just full of stones, they're all rotten and stuff like that. You find eggs inside, you find. Like a lot of the people would take the livers home and eat that, because obviously apparently that's all real good for you as well. So
thank you for emptying them of stones. So beings don't have to eat them.
No, that's right, So, but that was, I only lasted there a week, and I thought, do you know what, I can't do this job. I know we needed the money, but I was like, listen, I went home and said, look, I can't do this job. Christmas is coming, I want to eat turkey, and there's no way I'm going to eat a turkey if I know what's going on here. So I kind of gave up to it. And it didn't.
So did that did it put pressure on the relationship then? Did it?
Yeah, it put pressure. So for the next few months, I was trying to search for a job, but like I left school with no qualifications. I didn't have anything, and I was now in Royston, which is not from where I was, so I couldn't.
You didn't drive or anything like that?
I didn't drive. I did actually drive, but I'd actually lost my licence. So I got done for drink driving when I was bloody. I think I was 18. Like 19. Another story this is, I actually lost me mum, right, remember the 18?
Yeah.
Right, well anyway, my mum bought this Escort, this silver Escort, and it had the red line all the way down the side, and I loved it. And I've just started my driving lesson. I was like, Mum, please show me, let me drive. But she didn't let me drive. So anyway, when she used to go out, and Mum and Dad used to go out for a drink on a Friday night, I used to steal their car and go out joyriding in their car, driving around. Anyway, one time I got pulled over. They have to come home and come home one night and they're like, your car's gone. They've only had it like 3 days or something like that. But she wouldn't let me drive it anyway, so she'd come home. Where's the car gone? So they've gone up ringing, oh, I need to report my car's been stolen. And they're like, no, your son nicked it, he's down there. He's down there. So obviously they've come down there and and I ended up, I think I got a year ban and I don't know, £300 fine or something like that. And that was before I'd even got my licence.
Back then, 300 quid was a lot of money.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Especially when you're only playing with turkeys.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But then, then I had that. Then I got my license, and then we moved to Royston, and I lost my license of the car because I got done for drink driving. But the horrible thing about this, I'd actually been out and I drove my car because I'd been home, I'd gone to sleep, and I woke up and I was starving. So I drove to the garage to get some food and some drinks. And on the way back, I saw a car coming, and I don't know why I did it, but I just thought, I'll pull over and I'll duck under the steering wheel, and it just happened to be a cop car, and it was only the bloody copper in it that used to steal me for the motorbikes and for when I got shoplifting when I was 13. This John, his name was PC Fishwick. He used to hate. Do you remember him? Yeah. Every time if he saw me in the streets, he'd come up next week. You behaving yourself, Mr. Potasnick? I'm like, of course I am.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's been a pain in my. He was a pain in my ass when I was little.
Yeah.
So obviously you've got to a point now where your relationship's probably struggling a little bit. You're in Royston.
Yeah.
Where do you go from there?
Right.
Then?
So then what happened was, like I said, I was at home a lot more. So then let's say we started dying because our relationship was really, really good. When I had the job and everything, I was going to work and everything was good. The child was, Cade was doing well. Then it got to March time, and then I ended up moving back to my mum because I used to play football still for Harveys at that time. They were called, I used to play for Harveys. So they used to actually come and pick me up from Royston to take me back to play every Sunday, like Eric did.
Yeah, good old Eric.
So if you're watching Eric, I love you and I remember you always. He was like, growing up, he was like one of my heroes. So, but when I moved back to there, then obviously I started going out, she started going out, meeting other people, and then we kind of split up and things kind of got a little bit not nice. But then it's so weird because then
it's difficult when children are involved as well, isn't it?
So it got to a point where solicitors got involved in all this and things. Yeah, it wasn't nice, but we were both young and stupid, and I know this now. And if things would have been different, then my life would have been different. So what did happen was maybe meant to happen. Who knows? But anyway, it got to August, and because we was arguing, one day I remember because used to drop my son off, but it wasn't her, it was her mum used to drop her off. So, and then one day I was just like, you know what, I've had enough. I just wanted to speak to her and look what we went through. And so I rang her up. This was like August, and then I rang her up and said, look, can we just not put things behind us and for our son, sort things out?
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all right, bruv. Take your time. Take your time.
Yeah. So,
Take time, bro. We're here for you, mate. You know that.
Just a reminder that this podcast is real. There's real emotions behind what Stuart's talking about, so bear that in mind.
Emotion is not something that I was that I've kind of dealt with ever, and crying to me is like it's been drilled into me, like it makes a person weak when it's only now I know that it's not, because tears is you releasing energy and negativity that's inside your soul, so you need to release tears. Tears are good, and I know that now, but obviously at this time I didn't know this. But anyway, what happened was my son's mother, she'd gone. Well, let me start again. Sorry, I'm losing. Right. Anyway.
So you've had a conversation. Had a conversation.
We sorted things out, and then we arranged that she'd start dropping off again. I'd pick up. We'd be
civil
nice,
for the children,
civil and everything like that. And even on the day of what I'm about to say, it's hard. But I went. I just started my college course that I've been waiting for.
The computer one. So good buzz.
Yeah. So everything was going positive with me. We just started talking again. So. I know, I don't know if we would have got back together. Who knows? But all I know is on the day of the accident, what happened, what I'm about to tell you guys, is that I went to college and then I finished early on a Friday, so I arranged with her and said, look, can I come down and pick my Cade up, take him to the park and stuff? And she was like, yeah, cool, brilliant, all right. So I've gone down, picked my son up, and I took him out, we went to the park, went to shop, got some food, and I went back, and then when I got back, she was like, oh, do you want to come in and, because we were talking now, so we went back in, and we sat, and for 2 hours, it was like we'd never kind of split up, like nothing happened, but you could sense something.
It's just a moment, wasn't it? Yeah,
you could see a glimmer of hope for you both.
For us, but even if it wasn't for us, then it would have been for our son.
For Cade, yeah.
Yeah, so, and I just remember that when I did leave, because she, one thing that I carried like for 15 years is that before, I left, like she said that I love you still.
Yeah.
And
but you can always hold that, bro.
Yeah, I know.
You can always hold that.
And the thing was, well, I'll tell that bit later actually. So I left and I went home, and obviously I went out with my friends that night, and she went out with her friends that night, and unfortunately she was in a car accident. She died.
It was quite a big thing back in the day as well when that happened. You know, it was quite big for...
like I say, and it was the same season. I scored 50 goals that season. I had an amazing start to that season. And another weird thing that happened, like on the day that she died, we was actually playing against Royston Town. And like I still like went to play against Royston, and I was really the pitch.
Even after that news?
I was after that news because like my mum and dad said, just go and play, she might be able to, I don't know, just forget, like just, I don't know.
Football has that though, doesn't it? It's that,
definitely.
It's a release.
But I was running around the pitch crying, and I had a terrible game, and I should probably have never played, but
you tried.
I tried, and I thought it was right at that time. And it was, we lost 2-1, so I'm never going to forget that score, and I'm never going to forget that day.
Nor does anyone expect you to forget, because it's such a traumatic thing that's happened, and God rest her soul. You know that's your son's mum, and so you all of a sudden, although you've just looked, all right, we've just established you lost 2-1, but all of a sudden, Cade needs you even more.
Yeah, and like I said,
so what happened there?
At this time, because obviously he was living with his mum at that time, and I was living at my parents'. But so obviously then he came to live with me at my mum's with me, and I think I was there for like another year with my son, and I eventually got my own house, and
so it's just you and Cade.
Yeah.
In the end,
was you ready though? Really, was you ready?
The thing was, I actually got with another woman, not so after, but even, like now I know it's the wrong thing to do, I don't even know how it happened, and like why it happened. Maybe I was trying to reach out to heal myself or something, but it was not the relationship I needed at the time either. But I don't want to go into that too much.
No, that's fine. But was that because, like I say, that you weren't ready for that? Do you know what I mean? You were still in a place of probably trying to grieve.
I said, because on the day of when the accident happened, when we was I was in the house and we was talking, having a laugh. Like she said to me, "Oh look, shall I cancel going out with my friends and we can go out tonight and have something to eat?" And I said, "No, look, you've already organised it.
So you
just go out with your friends, and I'll go out with mine, because I'd already arranged with my friends too." So, and then for the next 15 years, like I was like, "Why did you just not make it come with you?"
Yeah.
Because like I said, I don't know if we'd ended up together, but I could have prevented the accident if.
But also, Stuart, flip that upside down. You didn't cause the accident.
No, I know,
it wasn't your fault in any which way. She's gone out to enjoy herself with her friends, which is young, and she's a young mum. She deserved to go out with her friends and let her hair down. So, although you will carry that, but it doesn't matter what if.
It doesn't define you.
No, for about 14, 15 years, I carried that around with me, blaming myself. And that was like that's when I started turning to drugs, and that's how I got involved with like starting taking cocaine, taking pills. Like, I mean, I was taking pills like back when I was a youngster. I mean, I remember doing my first pill. I went to a rave, and it was I think it was on my 18th birthday, and I went out. Is it somewhere out in Milton Keynes? I can't remember. I don't know.
Sanctuary?
No, not Sanctuary. I can't remember what it was called, but I remember going there, and that's where it was a White Dove. It was called.
Yeah, White Dove.
And I had an amazing time. Like, I'm not a dancer. I go out. I'm one that stands at the bar looking cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not a dancer, but on them I'll dance I'll dance all night. So
that was the beauty. Yeah, but in them days, like I say again, in them days
they were cleaner and stuff. Yeah. Like, back in the day, they were proper pills. Like,
they paid 25 quid.
Yeah, they were dear, expensive. Yeah, I think it was £20 I paid for it. Yeah.
You done all right, bruv.
No, but I think that there's a few of us. I think we bought a few. That's why it's that.
Bulk.
Bulk. Yeah, but not a massive amount. But it's only like 5 or 10 maybe. I can't remember. We got inside the thing. I can't remember. It's bloody cool. But it was a great night. I do remember it was a good night. So.
Stuart, so I don't know how to put this, but you've had such a traumatic event happen that, would you say, love of your life, the first love, let's say?
It was my first true love, yes.
First true love and the first born child's mum.
Yeah.
So that's hit you so hard. The drug taking and the going out and partying after that, was that an escape, or was that for you to...
That was an escape.
Because you just said dancing and taking ease. Once you've took that pill, you're then no longer in your own headspace.
Yeah.
You're in cloud cuckoo land.
Yeah.
So was that to hide away from the real trauma that you're holding?
Yeah.
Or was it just a recreational...
No,
get wrecked?
At first it was just... Because when I had to take... I had my son, and it was just me and him. When we got our own house... Like, I remember I got, obviously, back then you got £71 a week.
Must have been tough.
£71 a week, and then your child benefit, you got 10 quid, I can't remember what it was.
Back then it was paper gyros, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. it was nothing. I couldn't buy him anything, so I was like, I need to go to work. So I managed to get a job, but then because I was getting up to go to work, I had to get my son up like 6:30, 7 in the morning, take him to my mum's house. Then my mum was taking him to school. And then after, I remember coming home from work, or went to pick him up, and I remember my mum saying to him that Kate asked her a question, why does my nan take me to work and everybody else's mum and dad take them to school? And when I got asked, for God's sake, so I quit my job straight away and said, I started taking him to school because I didn't want him missing out or feeling like I pushed him onto my mum.
Do you had that conversation? Obviously he knows his mum's not there anymore, effectively. Do you know what I mean?
At this time he was too young, he didn't understand.
So you hadn't really had that conversation with him as such?
No.
So he effectively just felt he was with you and his mum.
Yeah, and then, like I said, then I had to. Yeah, then I gave up the job and obviously went back on the rock and roll, whatever you want to call it, and income support, basically called. And then, and we didn't have nothing. It was like I couldn't afford to buy him a lot of stuff. And I remember one Christmas, I bought him something, and he wanted a BlackBerry, and they were like £400. And I was like, what? 4 months worth of money.
But Dad, everyone's got one.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because
come on, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. So I knew someone that had a BlackBerry, and they sold me, and it was like a second-hand one, but it didn't have a box. It didn't have it, and I've given it on the thing. And he was trying to use it, and the bloody thing didn't even work or anything. So I was like, for God's sake! But luckily enough, my cousin Killy, at the time I couldn't get credit or anything because I didn't have nothing going on. So she managed to get me a contract. And I used to give her the money every month, and then he had his BlackBerry. So it all worked out in the end. But there was to see his poor little face when he got this BlackBerry because he was so happy. And then because I'd never even checked if it worked and all that. And then I see his face, and I just thought, oh my God. And then, like I say, luckily for me, I managed to sort it out, and he got the BlackBerry, and he was happy after.
Stuart, how old was Cade when you sat him down and spoke about his mum?
Do you know what?
Because that must have been, I'm sorry mate, but that must have been one of the toughest, most difficult conversations that any man or any person could have with their child.
Yeah.
and I can't imagine the pain that it caused.
It was not a point of like I sat him down and told him what had happened. It was just like if he asked about it or wanted to know something, then I would tell him because I didn't want to.
What age was he when he started asking?
Or was it a sort of like a continual at moments, and then it sort of all led to one?
Because before, he was. His first 2 years was really good, and he was potty trained. He was out in nappies. But then after the accident happened, obviously his mum was there with him every single day, and then he was taken away and she's gone.
Yeah.
And then obviously. Well, it's pretty embarrassing now. I said he's wet in the bed again or whatever, but he needed nappies at night and in the daytime. So it kind of had a backward effect on him, and he was like screaming and stuff. And basically, he was trying to cry out for his mother. But
yeah. It's as a father, you can. It's having a mum and dad is so vital for a child because you can do things for the child that the mum can't, and the mum can do, and you can't do what a child needs from a mum. So it doesn't matter how much you give them, how much you try and do your best. They still need either a mum or a dad in that scenario. Yeah. So I suppose your mum was quite instrumental in that.
Like I've been so supportive like through my whole life and this, and that was what the tattoo here was about, like the inspirational family. Because if it wasn't for them, like I don't know how these young girls keep having babies and live on their own and for 2-3 kids. I don't understand it. I really don't. But because if I could not have survived just if I didn't have a family, it wouldn't have been able to. I don't know.
Stuart, can I ask something? I've been sat here thinking about it because I want to speak to you about. Cade lost his mum when he was 2.
Yeah.
He then got brought up by you with the help and support of your loving family, thankfully. How did Cade do in education and school? Because obviously he's quite old now, but at school, did he succeed? Did he do really well?
Yeah, he's such a smart kid. Well, say a man. He's a smart man. Like I still see him as
still
my
your
little
kid,
boy.
isn't he?
Still my boy. But yeah, he done amazing at school. He got good grades at school because I knew what I never got taught from. Not saying that I was brought up bad and like, but I wasn't. My mum and dad, they both had jobs. They were going to work. They did what they had to do to get us through our lives. And then when I had like my son, I got lost now. Sorry.
Yeah, we're talking about school and that and how well he done.
How Cade did at school.
Yeah, he was doing he done amazing at school, but I always drilled it into him because I wanted him to have, when he got to like 16 when he had to do his A levels, I wanted him to have some GCSEs behind him. It was like I left with nothing. So and it did kind of affect me because it doesn't really matter now because you can go in to get any jobs as long as you know something and you can prove that you know something. They don't really care about what grades you got and all this. Like you can go to university now and do a 4-year course on whatever it is and leave, and you ain't going to get a job in that. And then you end up doing something else. So they're going to uni. We know what they go to uni for.
Was you tough? Was you tough with him?
I've never like my son was. He was a godsend. Even now I don't have to worry about my son. I know that he's safe. Because the only problems he ever had, I would probably cause one from my behaviour, but him as a child, he's an amazing child, and.
Sure, why do you think that is, mate?
Because through my family and the way I believe that I brought him up.
Who was before your family? You.
Well, me, yeah.
So that's who you need to go like that to, because to bring up a child with 2 parents. It's fucking difficult. Yeah. To bring up a child on your own with a little bit of help from nan and granddad is fucking even more difficult. Yeah, so kudos to you, mate. I'll say it again, I don't care if anybody pulls me upon the word, because you deserve that. Because at the end of the day, mate, if my wife said I'm going on holiday for a week and you're looking after Carter, I wouldn't be able to last 2 days. Yeah. Honestly. Hands down.
I've got 4 children now. And I still, at this moment, I'm still getting it wrong with my oldest one. I'll still get it wrong with my youngest. It's, mate, I can't. If it weren't for Marianne or my oldest's mum, I wouldn't, even get through.
I do have 3 children, and like I will get into the other 2, but
that'll probably be part 2.
Yeah, but Cade, from the moment I held him in my arms, I remember. When he came out and like
that's not a very nice experience, is it, mate?
The first thing he did was like coughed or sneezed, and it was just I don't know that it was like when I held him that what was going to happen to his mum, it was already prepared that me and him were connected.
You've got a bond, yeah.
Because
Did you cry when you held him?
Yes.
I did when I held my kids as well. Did you?
It's amazing.
It's just a reaction you can't control, isn't it?
And we've always been good friends and best friends. Obviously now he's a man, so we're not. I don't see him as much as I'd like, but I've got to let him live his life.
Where does he live now?
He lives out in Knowlesy.
Oh, is he? So not too far.
No.
You know,
so, he's
not like Australia or whatever.
He's got a nice girlfriend now, and
do you reckon he's watching?
Possibly. If you're watching, son, I do love you, and you know that I'll always be there for you no matter what.
Yeah.
I'll say it again, mate. Fair play to you. You know, because I run a charity called Feed Up Warm Up, and I worked with lots and lots of vulnerable people that have had lots of tragic events.
Yeah.
And the reason why I worked with them is because they hit rock bottom after the traumatic event. You could have quite easily, yes, you had your dark moments, yes, you had your partying moments, yes, you had your drug bits and pieces and blah, 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 but you could have, one, topped yourself, two, gone into serious crime or really hurt someone, or hurt yourself. So you didn't do that. Instead, you focused all your energy into bringing up Kate.
Yeah, well, it's true, but it's kind of not true, because there has been a lot of, I'll probably get that into the second thing, but I did turn to a lot of violence, and I have had a lot of fights on the streets, in a boxing ring. But the reason I was boxing and the reason I was fighting is because I was trying to release something cool, and that's why I turned to drink, and that's why I turned to drugs, because I was trying to get away from the feelings. And when you probably know, when you drink, you take drugs, everything disappears, and you can
everything's rosy, isn't it?
Exactly, you can enjoy yourself.
There is no worries.
But my nights from like 7 to 12 or 2 in the morning were turning into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, like doing benders. It's like, when I knew my son was
just
safe,
starts
like
at
that,
weekends.
my mum's, and I never had to switch off. I couldn't switch off. The only way I would switch off is when I actually pass out and fall asleep.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I was trying to kill myself or why I could handle.
I think he was just trying to escape reality.
Yeah.
That's all.
So, like I said, it could go on for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. But then the more you take drugs, the more you turn into what is it? You know, like paranoia kicks in, and the longer you're taking drugs, because your brain, you can't live. You're not eating. You're drinking, but it's alcohol. Drinking alcohol for 5 days, like constantly, and sniffing drugs, taking pills, whatever it will be, for a consistently long period of time.
Yeah.
But I was free from my mind, because everything had gone.
How was relationships around that time, family and stuff like that? Obviously, Cade was sort of in a bit of a bubble, to be fair, from all of that.
With your mum,
How was it with your mum and your dad and your sister, and do you know what I mean? How did you find it back then?
Well, I've got 2 sisters. Like one, I grew up with at home. Like me and my Terry Ann, we grew up together, and she's only like 3 years younger than me. I think 3 years around that. So like when we left, and when the accident happened with my son's mum, like my mum and dad were actually trying for another baby, but then obviously when the accident happened, the jiggity boo, whatever you want to call it, stopped. And
never heard it called jiggity boo.
I didn't know what nice word to say.
If your mum's watching now, she's like, Stuart, for Christ's sake.
Right, they were humping or whatever.
All right, TMI, mate.
Right, Anyway, so they stopped that, and then on the day of the funeral of my son's mother, they obviously had a few drinks and went
Had a bit of jiggity boo.
Had
some jiggity boo, yeah.
And then 9 months later, actually on my son's birthday, which is the 22nd of July, my sister, my youngest sister, Bobby, was due on the 22nd, but she held on for another day, so she was born on the 23rd, which, so it's a day later. So my son's auntie is actually younger than him. She actually was conceived on the day of the funeral, maybe the day after, because it would have been late, but so but around that time. So it was that they always say that one life for another life. So
of course
it was, and she came out a girl, so which I weren't too.
What do they call that? Is it a rainbow baby?
I'm joking.
Rainbow baby, is that? Is that when they say somebody dies and a baby's born? It's a rainbow baby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That is the right time.
Yeah, so obviously, so at that time, was it quite tough?
That was very tough.
Yeah.
It was very tough.
As a family?
As a family, and like my son's mother's.
I was
like,
going to
side.
say, obviously.
I still speak to them to this day, and we've always got on great. And like they used to take Cade on holiday all the time. And
did they know you were struggling, or did they not know as much?
He's a man.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like I always watch Only Fools and Horses. You know, like what Del Boy says. You know, I'll always turn up, have a smile on my face. No one needs to know what's going on. I'll go home. I've spent many times, months, years probably on my own, crying and whatever. But on the streets, no one's going to see me like that because it made me feel that I was weak.
Yeah.
Vulnerable,
so I couldn't show people this. So that's why I turned to drugs and things. I wasn't having sessions with people. I was on my own, like for 5 days. Like at a point, I've got
what, binge drinking?
Yeah, basically binge
just getting
drinking,
off your tits.
And doing and just cutting the world out. Like for a few days, like I said, it could be 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4, 5 days really was the max because after 5 days you're hallucinating. You're going into a whole different world. So you need to pass out. And literally you do. Even you're sniffing, you're taking pills, you're drinking, whatever it is. But vodka was my thing. Vodka was the one that knocked you out. So you went vodka and you was drinking. I could drink 5 bottles of vodka over 5 days or something like that.
Vodka was my downfall.
Whatever it was.
Was it? Was that your drink of choice, vodka?
Well, no, any drink was my choice at the time, but vodka was the day it all collapsed for me. Was the day I was on vodka to the point of I ended up passing out, and I had my children with me. Do you know what I mean? So,
the two eldest.
Yeah, obviously. Again, like I say,
obviously. Why do I ask stupid questions?
No,
Yeah, so.
But now going back to where we started is like with my son and him going to like doing really well at school. Like it wasn't a case of me telling my strategy was you get home from school, you do your homework. If it takes you 10 minutes, you go on your computer. It takes you 2 hours, you can go on your computer. You can do what you want to do. But your first thing is you do your homework. And whether I was there or I wasn't there, the first thing he would do, he'd come home and I'm not gonna say he did, you know what I mean? You might have said because there was certain games like he'd buy, but he'd want computer games. You know how much computer games back then. It was like
especially nowadays,
your whole gyro basically.
Yeah.
So that was £60, £50. Well, it's still the same price now. Well, they're probably cheaper now to buy them back then. So it was like he knew that if he was good and he did the things, then I would get him what he wanted. But it wouldn't be I would give it or I'd spoil him like the kids nowadays, where they're just running around screaming. Like if you scream, you'd know that no, not. So I only used to have to look at him a certain way, and he would stop playing up.
Yeah.
So
because he had respect for you.
My mum,
Because he had respect.
I had total respect for my mum and my dad. But if I was playing up, they'd look at me a certain way, and I'd know. Right now, I know. Like with the kids now, they're gonna, you know what they're like.
You look at them in the wrong way now. Social services are at your door.
Yeah, exactly. I'll ring social. So if it had been Mel, if that had been me, I'd say, well, ring social then, take me away.
Yeah.
So because then you've got to play with them, but they play. I wouldn't really have said that, but.
So obviously it's a real tough time. Do you know what I mean? And you had the support of your family and all that. But when you were going through these moments and these binges, were they aware of it? Were they trying to help you come out of it? What were they doing for you? Because my dad, bless him, and my mum really struggled with my drinking. Do you know what I mean? And I just.
Everyone knew, like my eldest sister, me and her. Really, we're like this.
Yeah.
Like I am really close to my sister. I've got to know my younger sister over the last couple of years, like a lot better than I knew her because we didn't grow up together. She's grown up with mum and dad. She was a bit more spoiled than we were because she had a lot.
But then the last ones always are, mate.
Yeah,
each one goes down.
Me and my sister, like we grew up. We didn't have a lot of things. We got good Christmases and we got stuff at birthdays and we had stuff. We wasn't spoiled. And then.
Did your mum and dad do the hampers at Christmas? Do you remember pay weekly hampers?
No.
Did you not do that?
No, we used to always have the Sanders boot or whatever it is, filled with chocolate and stuff at the bottom of it. That was our
piece of coal at the bottom.
Yeah. No, it weren't bars and Maltesers and things like that. But yeah, they did their best, and we always knew that, and we appreciated what we got. So I don't know what.
So basically, what I'm saying is, so did they know? Obviously, there's times where you've literally passed out, and you know, and you're on a binge.
they knew, and like I said, my eldest sister, she knew, and she used to always come in and talk to me and try to help. But I'm a pig-headed motherfucker, and
you listen to the own voices in your head.
I listen. I don't listen to people. Like now, if people, if you're talking to me now, I will take on board what you're saying. I will listen to you now. Whereas in the past, if I didn't like what you were saying straight away, I would cut you straight off. I don't want to listen.
Yeah.
I ain't going to listen to what you're going to say. But now I'm willing to listen to what people have to say. If I want to take it on board, I'll take it on board. I'll take it out and I'll throw it away.
Yeah.
I carried too much baggage. So for many years I carried baggage.
And it's difficult when it's family because you feel you can not listen to them as well because you're just moaning. You don't understand.
Exactly, that's what I'd say.
You just think you're just trying to change me. You're trying to because you're in that moment. You don't think well, you know you've got a problem, but you don't believe you've got a problem. Do you know what I mean? And with the drink and the drugs, you know, it's more.
Yeah, and it's like now. Like I've had many drug problems, I've had alcohol problems, but now I know they wasn't alcohol problems or drink problems. They were me problems.
Exactly.
It was me that had the problem, but I was.
You sound like a counsellor, Stuart.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe.
That's what they say.
Yeah,
that's what they exactly word for word.
It was a me problem, and I did get, like I said, after 15 years of, I tried for, I think I see about 3 counsellors before I finally met one, which was actually in prison when I met this one, and I actually thought this was the time I need to talk to sort my life out. But that's another story.
Yeah.
You've just given away a snippet of part 2.
No, only a little bit, but it's only a tiny fraction.
That's all right. You've done really well, actually.
Don't
You've
worry.
done really well.
Yeah, what was I saying again?
I don't know.
We're not talking about prison in this episode.
We can't get to that bit yet.
No, that's what I was saying. I did see 3 counsellors, but when I went to see these counsellors, I was going at this. When my son got to about 7, 8 years old, my son, I remember this day. He come home from school and he goes, "Dad, I don't know why you need to go to work now." And I don't know if he'd worked it out in his own little mind or what, but he goes because that way we can have better things. Because I couldn't afford it on the social that we was getting, £80 a bloody week. What the hell am I going to do with that? I bought food, which was 40 quid, paid the rent, electric and all that, and there's like 5 quid. Like, what the fuck am I going to do with that? So then obviously he got to 7, he's like, "Dad, I know why you need to go to work now." Like he's like 7 or 8, and he's like, and it's because then we can have basically a better life. And I was like, yeah, and he goes, "Well, if you want to go back to work, then you can." And so that was when I went back to work, and that was when I started getting. I went to work for the water board, digging up the roads, and
A couple of my mates do that. They love it.
Yeah. So I did that for like about.
Not bad money as well.
No, it was really good, yeah, and it like really helped us out. And obviously, like I said, I don't know if he knew that if I had more money coming in, then that means he can get maybe games for his computer, better trainers.
Well, it does mean that, doesn't it?
It does,
because as dads, all 3 of us are fathers. If we had £2 in our pocket, at least £1 of that would go to the kids.
Yeah, that's right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Adrian's got a lot more than that in his pocket, by the way. He's a cash carrier.
Yeah.
But
Robbed on the street, man.
yeah, right. But you know what I mean? We'd give our last breath to our children, wouldn't we?
Yes, definitely.
And my boy now, he's 7 now. So, but he's so money minded.
Yeah.
Like when I give him his money, he's budgeting it.
Yeah.
He's like, "I need this for that," because he's so used to me budgeting my money.
Yeah.
It's a snowball effect.
Yeah.
But I think we're coming to the end of part 1.
Okay.
So we're going to be.
Oh wow.
I know.
Yeah.
So we're going to be picking up where we've left off.
Okay.
So at the minute,
Just to recap, you are just gone back to work at the road, digging up the roads.
Digging up the roads and stuff, yeah.
And your boy's how old?
He's around about 7, 8.
7 or
I'm
8.
sure he's 7. See, it's the magical number 7 again.
Yeah, 7 or 8 year old.
Which is going to be really prominent to what we're doing in part 2.
So,
Number
and
7.
it's funny that the 7, and I was born in 77 too. So the word 7, like I said in the second episode or whatever, I'm gonna. Like the number 7, like people don't even notice this, right? But on social media, right, if people add me, follow me, whatever, I always go onto their posts and I will like 7 of their posts. And
I'm going to go home and check that now.
So if people
I'm going to go and check that.
So if people want to check and see if they like one of my posts, I will go onto their post and I will like their thing 7 times. And if they follow me, then I go back and I do 7 more. So people probably haven't even realised, because sometimes they put.
I wouldn't.
So when people sometimes put, you know, when they thank you and then they put, oh, thank you for liking my things, and they do it, but nobody has actually probably realised that it's actually 7 times. Some people are probably, it might come up like 14, 21, 28 because they've posted or liked my stuff more. So if people tend to like my stuff, then I'm going to go back and I'm going to like your stuff.
Talking about your stuff and your social media, in part 2 we're going to get to that, so that's at the end of your podcast, but at the minute your life is looking pretty good. You know, you're in good shape, and we're going to hear in part 2 what you've got planned coming up, and etc, etc. But for now, I want to thank you for coming in and bearing all, because although you know Adrian, I bet tonight was still not as easy as you thought it might have been, sitting with your mate next to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he probably now sees you, or still sees you as Stuart, but he now understands you a bit more. And I actually feel like I know you quite well now.
I don't think we've ever cried together, bruv, so we'll take that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but do you know what, mate? I haven't done mine yet. Adrian hasn't done his yet. I can imagine it being really daunting, especially with a camera there, camera here, a stranger here, and one of your mates there.
So that's the beauty of it.
We're having a chat.
That's the beauty.
I do want to take this moment just to turn to the camera. I'm not being rude, but we would like, myself and Adrian would like to say thank you very much to FB Chain, Lou's delicious cupcakes.
Oh.
And what's the other one? Just for you to say.
Craig Jones's media company out in Dubai.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
We've got a sponsor all the way in Dubai.
Dubai. Craig, I don't know if you're watching or if you are going to be watching. Absolute legend you are, bruv.
Wicked. This, as said at the beginning, is part 1. Part 2 will be coming very soon. But for now, I've been Shane.
I've been Adrian.
I'm Stuart.
Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again soon. That wasn't too bad, was it, Stuart?
No, it was nice.
Let me just turn.
So it's nice. It's like I said to you guys. This is the final piece of my journey, so I can release all this.
Hi guys.
Last piece of demons.
Thanks everyone for watching. We're going to be cutting this off, but Everett81 says, "Not stupid. You're just a div."
It's got to be Mick,
David
isn't it?
Everett.
Oh, yeah, it's Dave.
He's the biggest king div ever.
Yeah, Dave.
We are still live, but Everett also says, "Stay strong, Potsy." Jack Farmer says, "Love Potsy, stay strong," and big love Potsy. Also, Vic Star says, "Well done, guys, another great podcast." And Bobby Louise says, "I love you, bro."
I love you too.
But thanks for watching, guys. Tune in to part 2 of Stuart's podcast. We will advertise the date very soon. Thanks for watching, but for now, goodbye.
There we go.
Okay, live's finished and recording is